The wind carried the scent of rain and regret across the dry plains of Willow Creek. The rancher, Cole Danner, rode slow through the fading light, his eyes scanning the horizon like a man who'd seen too much and trusted too little. The land was quiet, but not the peaceful kind. It was the kind of silence that came after too many goodbyes. His horse's hooves stirred the dust that never seemed to settle, just like the memories he tried to bury. Cole had spent years rebuilding what the fire took: the ranch, the fences, even his heart. Folks said he was a man carved out of stubbornness and sorrow. But when he found that small cabin door half open, swaying in the wind, something inside him stirred again, something he thought he'd long forgotten. Inside, the air was thick with the smell of smoke and blood. Her name was Mara, and she looked at him like she'd been running from hell itself. Cole froze, not at her words, but at her face. He'd seen her before. Not here, not in this lifetime maybe, but in the dreams that woke him in the dark. He dropped to his knees beside her. "You're hurt. Let me help you," he said, his voice rough but gentle. Mara flinched at his touch, clutching her wound tighter. "If they find me here, they'll kill you too." Cole glanced toward the open field, no movement yet. But his gut told him trouble wasn't far behind. "You're safe here." But she shook her head, tears cutting through the dust on her cheeks. "No one's safe anymore. Not since him." Cole felt a chill crawl up his spine. He didn't know who him was, not yet, but the way she said it made the air around them feel heavier. He wrapped his coat around her shoulders, helping her sit up. Her hand brushed his, and for a second, the storm outside went silent. He didn't know it yet, but that touch would change everything. As the first drops of rain hit the roof, the storm broke over the ranch like a warning from the heavens. Rain hammered the old tin roof, each drop echoing against the weight of secrets inside. Cole moved quickly, lighting a lantern, sealing the windows, keeping his rifle within reach. Mara sat near the fire, pale but still holding that same fierce look in her eyes, the kind of look you only see in someone who's lost everything and still refuses to break. He brought her a cup of water, his gaze steady but searching. "You gonna tell me who's after you?" Her hands trembled as she took the cup. "You ever heard of a man named Barrett Kane?" Cole froze. That name was a scar across half the West, a cattle baron turned outlaw. Kane left every place he touched burning behind him. Cole had seen what Kane's men did years ago. It was why he'd built his ranch so far from any road. Mara's eyes flicked to him, studying his silence. "So you do know him?" Cole nodded slowly. "Kane took everything from me once. Guess we got that in common." She looked down at the fire, the flames dancing in her reflection. "He took my husband and my son, burned our home, said it was payment for a debt we never owed." The rain outside turned to wind that howled through the cracks. Cole felt the familiar ache of old pain clawing at his chest. "Then why is he still after you?" Mara's voice cracked. "Because I ran, and I took something he wants back, proof of what he's done. I was going to the sheriff in Red Hollow before they found me." Cole leaned closer. "And now they'll come here." A flash of lightning lit the room, followed by the sharp crack of thunder, and under it, the faint sound of horses in the distance. Mara's breath hitched. Cole moved to the window, peering through the storm. Dark shapes moved along the ridge, torches flickering in the rain. "They found you," he said quietly. Mara grabbed his arm, desperation in her eyes. "Please, don't do this for me. I can leave. You don't need to die because of my mistake." Cole turned to her, jaw tight, voice steady as a rock. "Lady, I've already lost everything once. I ain't letting that bastard take what little piece I've got left." He reached for his rifle, checked the chamber, and took a deep breath. The storm outside roared louder, as if the land itself knew what was coming. Behind him, Mara whispered, "Please, not again." Not because of what she said, but because deep down, he realized something dangerous. He cared. The thunder rolled once more, closer this time. Cole set his hat low, stepped to the door, and said, "If they're comin', let 'em come." Outside, the storm met the men who carried death with them. Inside, a broken woman and a haunted rancher waited, together, for whatever hell was about to ride through the rain. The night came alive with thunder and gunfire. He crouched by the window, rain dripping from his hat brim, watching torches snake through the darkness. The men were coming slow, careful, like wolves who'd hunted before. Mara clutched the blanket around her shoulders, trembling. "There's too many," she whispered. "You can't fight them all." Cole glanced back, calm and steady. "Never could. But I can make 'em bleed for every inch they take." The storm swallowed their shouts, but the clinking of metal and the smell of smoke cut through the wind. Cole's hands were steady as he loaded each round, his mind already drifting back to another night years ago, when Barrett Kane had done the same thing to his home. His wife's scream, the firelight, the emptiness that followed. He'd sworn never to fight again, but life had a cruel way of testing a man's word. "Stay low," he told Mara. "If I tell you to run, you run." Her eyes met his. "And if you don't come back?" Cole almost smiled. "Then you keep running till you forget my name." The first bullet shattered the window. Glass and rain exploded inward. Cole dropped behind the table, fired once, a clean shot. A man screamed outside. The rancher's instincts came alive again, old muscles remembering what peace had made him forget. Mara gasped. "They know you're armed." "Good," Cole muttered, sliding to the door. "Let him think twice before stepping on my land." Outside, the men regrouped near the barn. Cole could make out for shapes, maybe 5. One was shouting orders, tall, broad, and cruel in his tone. That had to be Kane's man, maybe even Kane himself. The rain poured harder, soaking the earth into mud. Cole moved through it like a shadow, circling the barn, rifle ready. He caught one man off guard, pulling him down into the dirt before the gun could even raise. Another fell when lightning flashed, Cole's shot echoing into the night. But there were more, too many. A sudden explosion lit the field. The barn went up in flames. The horses screamed. Cole staggered back, covering his face from the heat. He knew it wasn't just to burn the place, it was to smoke him out. Inside the cabin, Mara screamed his name, and in that one desperate cry, Cole felt something stir deeper than fear, something worth dying for. The storm swallowed his shout as he yelled, "Get down, Mara." The night of reckoning had begun. The fire from the barn cast a red glow across the room, flickering over Mara's terrified face. She was kneeling by the hearth, clutching something close to her chest, a small, leather-bound ledger soaked in blood and rain. "They're setting the place ablaze," Cole said, coughing through the smoke. "We've got to move." Mara shook her head, pressing the ledger into his hands. "Every ranch he stole, every killing he ordered. It's all here." He flipped it open, skimming the pages, Kane's handwriting, his seal, his signature. It was enough to bury the man in every court west of the river. Cole's jaw tightened. Then he's not leaving here alive. The sound of boots on wet earth grew louder. 5 men this time. The leader's voice cut through the rain, rough and familiar. "Danner," he shouted. "Come out and hand her over. I'll even let you keep your life this time." Cole's blood turned cold. He knew that voice. Barrett Kane. He looked back at Mara. "Stay low. When I move, you run for the back." "Cole, don't do this for me." He gave her a faint smile. "Ain't for you, ma'am. It's for the folks who can't fight him no more." Then he stepped out into the storm. The outlaw still wore that same black duster, his head tilted low, his grin carved out of arrogance. "You should have stayed gone, Danner," Kane called. "This ain't your fight." Cole raised his rifle. "It was never mine, but you made it personal." Gunfire erupted, echoing across the valley. Cole moved with the precision of a man who had nothing left to lose. 1, 2, 3, every shot a memory, every breath a promise. The men fell, one by one, until only Kane stood, wounded but smirking through the blood. "You think killing me changes anything?" Kane spat. "You'll still be alone when this is done." Cole lowered his rifle. "Maybe, but you won't be around to remind me." A final shot cracked through the rain, and Barrett. Kane fell into the mud that matched his soul. Cole stood there for a long moment, chest heaving, watching the storm wash the blood away. Behind him, Mara stepped out, her eyes wide with shock and sorrow. "It's over," she whispered. He looked at her, weary but alive. "No," he said softly. "It's just finally right." The fire from the barn had died to embers. Dawn crept over the plains, quiet and golden. For the first time in years, Cole Danner let himself breathe. Mara walked beside him, clutching the ledger, not as a burden now, but as a promise. Together, they looked toward the rising sun. the ghosts of the night fading behind them.